Hi gang, and welcome back. Today I'm just going to go over basically my bill of materials and how I got started. And so I'm keeping an Excel spreadsheet to show and explain the cost and, just for my own history, what's going on. But I thought I'd share it, let you guys maybe see what it costs to build one of these things. So let me shrink my little picture down here and get more interesting things up than my face. Come on. Got it. So here's my spreadsheet. And as you can see across the top here, I named the columns, right? Of course, you have to know what the part is, quantity that I bought. Now, the quantity is the packages. If you look in the part, sometimes it'll explain to you that, there's 50 in a bag or whatever like that. So when you're looking at the quantity, you have to look at the part description and the quantity column. Kind of combine the two. Unit price, and then the total price. Okay, because if I bought more than one, of course, it's going to double the price, right? Shipping, taxes, and the total per item. And I just wanted to break that out. I was curious, because you see a total cost and you say, well, I paid this much for it. But in reality, you paid a little less, but you would charge for shipping and you would charge taxes. And I thought it would be kind of nice to know how much of what I actually spent that money on. And then the last column here I highlight for you is the store I bought it at. Okay, of course, this stuff was bought, shipped to me. And so you'll see that most of it was from AliExpress or bought from eBay. But there are a couple items in there that are specialty items, bought from the store. So let me go down to the bottom of the columns here. I'm not going to bother to go down through each one of these parts that I bought. The bill of material, I'll show you how I base this here in a minute anyway. So going all the way down to the bottom, I tally up my columns here. You can see my total price is $1,929. Shipping was $169. Taxes $126 for a grand total of $2,225. Now I had a luxury that I was lucky to have, in that I had the model trains. And so I went on eBay and I sold all my model train stuff and collected that cash. And so since I had the pocket of cash, I ordered the bulk of my bill of materials at the same time. My thinking was, then I don't have to wait for anything. And, I don't pay as much in the shipping if I could do it, some of that combined shipping to keep that cost down. So that was my goal. And I was a little bit surprised that this was a little higher than I thought it would be. But those servos, they cost a little bit of money. So that were probably they were the most expensive things. Other than the little mini PC, they were by far the most expensive things. And as I use some of this stuff, I'll explain why I chose this PC or this video screen. So I'm not going to go into those details now. But how did I come up with this bill of material? I went to the InMove website. Okay, you can see it up there. Highlight it for you. That's the main page for InMove, for the whole the whole mess. Okay, just go here and you can find all the different forums and get-togethers. So I went under Build Yours, And there you have hardware map and bill of materials. This is where I started. So it starts off first by mapping the hardware for you. You'll get more of this as we build the robot, but this is really the I/O assignment. What was connected to what pin on the Arduinos and so forth. So it gives you the spreadsheet layout, and then it gives you kind of a basic schematic of what he did there. And this is the opposite side. A basic layout of the test diagram here, of how he was testing things. Let me pop that up a little bit bigger. How he was testing things. And he used the 6-volt batteries there that, for servo power. And he used the Arduino Mega for the control. And I'll be using that shortly, this configuration to test my finger. I almost have everything I need to do that finger. So that'll be coming up pretty quick. Then it gives you a kind of a basic pictorial overview of the hardware. A left side, right side. All this is available to you on his site. You can download a copy of it. And then it gets into the bill of material. And you see here the last time he updated this was 2016. So it's getting a little age on it. But he goes down through here and he tells you, okay, here I use these countersunk screw heads, right? And he gives you the dimension and about how many of them he used. So this began to form my bill of material. And he goes into the hand and the forearm, left and right. So I went through this and I tallied up all the servos, all the nuts and the bolts and everything, and I came up with a total number of parts needed. That's how I accomplished that. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time going through here. You can, of course, call this site up. You can look at his bill of materials. You can study my spreadsheet. I hope my spreadsheet gives you a more consolidated idea of what you're looking at and what to buy. It goes through the what type of speaker he bought and how he hooked it up to his audio amplifier. Then he goes into the stubbic, the ribbon cable lengths. This is nice to know, these approximations. I wouldn't, as he says in his videos, you wouldn't set these in concrete, but they're good guidelines to kind of let you know how much you need to buy. Now, one thing I didn't do, I didn't buy this ribbon cable. You won't see that on my bill of material. And I held off on that until I got the connectors, because in his explanations, he's showing the pitch of that ribbon cable is of the connectors is 2.54 for the pitch. Then he gives you a link to where he bought the ribbon cable from. But when it pops up, it's popping up to a 1.27 millimeter pitch. So I'm pretty sure it's a 2.54, but I just held off on it. Since I live in the big town of Houston, I can run up to my electronics parts store and buy my ribbon cable locally. So I'll save on the shipping, and I'll be sure to get the right style on that too. Goes to the latest configuration of the Nook, right? Connected devices, what's connected to MRL, okay? That's My Robot Lab. That's the software used for the development and control of the robot. So what he's saying is all these things plug into the computer and run through the software. So this is what he saw as everything that was in there. Some people have added more. Some people have left things out. It's a hodgepodge of what do you want your robot to do. But this is how he's developed his. Older configurations. This I wish he would actually remove. I found this more confusing than helpful. Since nobody's doing this, since he's not even recommending it anymore, personally, I think it would be better to remove it. Power pack. Okay, this is just it's like a battery pack. Okay, used for remote powering. You see it used a lot for recharging cell phones and things like that. Substitute possible tablets. Might have been helpful to some. I would have taken it off the bill of material and put it on a separate, maybe just a link to it. Here's something that I thought was interesting, something that might be worth to point out. His Connect is being powered off a battery pack. Now, if you notice, the battery pack holds 10 batteries, not 8. Standard non-rechargeable batteries are 1.5 volt. So to get 12 volts, you don't need 10. But if you're using rechargeable cells, they're 1.2 volts, not 1.5. So you do need 10 of those to get to your 12 volts. So just something to point out why this was done. Things he's abandoned. Again, I would have put this on just a link, as past history type thing. Servos that he used in his preferences. Alternatives. Then he goes back into the bicep, shoulder, and torso. Okay, and the eyes and the stomach. And we drop down to people leaving their comments. Now, he's in France. He's a Frenchman. He did this website in French. And I had Google translate it to English for me. So when you get down to the comments, you start seeing things coming up in French. They can be translated. His responses are in English, but so that pretty much covers what was in the bill of material that he provided. I went a little bit deeper, and as I was studying and watching some of the videos and the tutorials on how to build these different components, he would mention, I used this many screws here or there, or different things like that. And I captured some of that in my bill of material to help me get a better number. So that's basically what this one's all about. This video is all about. But I just thought I'd also let you see what my blog looks like if you were to call it up and look at the silly thing. Right? This one will always be on the top. This is kind of my introduction. Calibration is one that I just recently did to show you how I calibrated my printer. And then, of course, the next time you look at this, there'll be one on here for my bill of material, which I'm making for you now. Now, there's video links on this page that are actually on YouTube. So you can follow me two ways. You can either go to YouTube, follow me there, or you can follow the blog. Now, I may be putting stuff here on the blog and in written text that you might not get to see on YouTube. I'm going to evaluate this combination and make up my mind, is there enough distinction here to keep both going? I'll probably have to keep the YouTube going if I keep the blog going, because the size of these videos, I can't upload them to the blog directly. So I put a link to YouTube. But if I don't see enough activity or or use in the blog, I may just end this and just continue to use YouTube directly. That's a determination I'll make as I go through this process. So hang in there, check them both out. You can see up here, this is the link to my my blog. If you type that in, you'll come up to this page. So, with that said, I'll just say goodbye. Have a good day.